So now we are going to see the ISO OSI model. Okay, we are going to see ISO OSI model. So first, what is meant by ISO? ISO is a International Standards Organization. What is ISO? ISO is International Standards Organization, and it is a multinational body dedicated to worldwide agreement on international standard. What is ISO? ISO is a multinational body dedicated to the worldwide agreement on international standards. So an OSI is nothing but it is an ISO standard that covers all aspects of communication. So what is OSI? OSI means Open System Interconnection Model. What is OSI? OSI is Open System Interconnection Model. So this OSI is nothing but it is an ISO standard that covers all aspects of network communication. Okay, it covers all aspects of network communication. First of all, we must know what is meant by an open system. A open system is nothing but it is a set of protocol that allows two computers to communicate each other regardless of their underlying architecture. Okay, whatever may be the architecture it is having, it can communicate each other openly. That such systems are called open systems. Now we are going for the ISO OSI model. This ISO is nothing but an organization and OSI is the model. Now this ISO OSI model is having 7 layers. The 7 layers are physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer and application layer. How many layers you are having? We are having 7 layers. So the 7 layers are physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. So if you want, you can remember like this: Andhra Pradesh State Transport New DP. DP means display picture. Okay. So if you remember this word, you can remember easily: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, physical. Andhra Pradesh State Transport New DP. Okay. So if you remember this word, very easily you can remember all the 7 layers. Okay. That is application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. This application, presentation and session, these 3 layers are called as user related layers, and this network, data link and physical, they are called network related layers. The physical layer, data link layer and the network layer, these 3 layers are called as network related layers, and session, presentation, application, these 3 layers are called as the user related layers. This transport layer, it will act as a bridge between these two. Okay. Now this application, presentation and session, these 3 layers are implemented by using software. These 3 layers are called as upper layers. This upper layer is implemented by using software, and the lower layers, that is physical, data link, network, these layers are implemented by using hardware and software. But the physical layer, it is only implemented by using hardware, that is transport, network and data link. These 3 are implemented by using hardware as well as software. Okay, the transport layer, network layer and data link layer, these 3 layers are implemented by using both the hardware as well as software, but this physical layer, it is implemented only by using the hardware. Now between 2 layers, whatever may be the layers, between physical and data link, you will be having one thing called interface. Similarly, between data link and network, you will be having one interface. Similarly, between network and transport, you will be having one thing called interface. Similarly, between transport and session will be having an interface, and between session and presentation also will be having one interface, and between presentation and application also will be having an interface. Okay. Now here we are having one diagram. This diagram shows the interaction between layers in OSI model. Okay, so device A is a sender and device B is a receiver. Okay, device A is a sender and device B is a receiver. In device A, the data flow will be from layer 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in device B, the data flow will be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is peer-to-peer process? Peer-to-peer process is nothing but it is a process which is running in the same layer of two different machines. Okay, the process which is running in the same layer of two different machines, it is called as peer-to-peer process. Okay. Next, whenever a data is moving from one layer to another layer, each layer will add one header, or it will add some information to the data received from the upper layer. So if you take, this is the first one is the application layer. So when data is coming from application layer to presentation layer, it is adding a header H6. Okay, since this is a sixth layer, you are using as 6 H is header. So whenever data is coming from one layer to another layer, that particular layer will be adding some information. That information is nothing called header. It may be an address or some other thing. Okay, header. Now in layer 2, only in layer 2 you will be adding information in the front as well as back. When you are adding information to the front of your data, then it is called header. And if you are adding information to the back part of your data, then is called trailer. Okay, what are the two things you have to remember? So one is header, another one is trailer. Header is nothing but the information that is added to the front part of the data is called header, and the information that is added to the second part of the data is called as trailer. So in this OSI ISO model, we are adding the trailer only at the data link layer. You have to remember one thing, you have to add the information to the back side of the so we are adding the header to the information which is coming from the above layer. So we are adding the trailer only in the data link layer. So in order to add error control, we are adding the trailer. So adding something to the data is nothing called as encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Adding the header to the data is called as encapsulation. Now we are going to see the layers, the 7 layers, that is physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, and presentation layer and application layer. That are the 7 layers what we are going to see. Okay. The first layer is a physical layer. Okay, the first layer is a physical layer. So the physical layer coordinate the functions required to carry a bit stream over a physical medium. What is the function of physical layer? Physical layer coordinates the functions required to carry a bit stream over a physical medium. So it deals with the electrical and mechanical specification of the interface and the transmission medium. So what is the next function? It defines the electrical and mechanical specification of the device, of the interface and the transmission medium. Transmission medium may be an optical fiber cable, or it may be a wire, okay, or it may be a radio wave. So this figure, it is showing one this is a work of this physical layer, that data is coming from the data link layer. So this yellow part, it is a data which is coming from the data link layer. Now the physical layer is adding a header. The physical layer is adding a header, and it is transmitting it to the transmission medium. So while transmission, we have to convert this bits into some signal, either as an optical signal or an electrical signal. We have to convert this into an optical signal or electrical signal, and we have to send, and that data is passing through this transmission medium, and it is going to the physical layer of the receiving device. Where it is going? It is going to the physical layer of the receiving device. In the physical layer of the receiving device, it is eliminating this header, and it will be using the data. So the first function is, it coordinates a function which is required to carry a bit stream over a physical medium. Then second one, it deals with the specification, electrical and mechanical specification of interfaces and transmission medium. And the third one is, it defines the procedures and functions that the physical devices and interfaces has to perform for transmission to occur. So it will tell what are the functions and what are the procedures that the physical devices has to follow to occur transmission. Okay, so the physical layer is responsible for the movement of individual bits over one hop to the next. The physical layer is responsible for the transmission of individual bits from one hop to the next. Okay, these are some of the duties of the physical layer. Okay, the first important thing is physical characteristics of interface and medium, that I have told. It will be explaining about the electrical and mechanical specification, and it will define the type of transmission medium, which type of transmission medium we are using. Either it may be a radio wave or copper cable or OFC. Okay, then next function is representation of bits. So we know that physical layer will be having a stream of bits. That bits has to be converted into either electrical signal or optical signal before it has to be transmitted. So first work is the physical. It defines the physical characteristics of transmission medium and interface. Second one, representation of bits. Representation of bits means the bit has to be converted into either an optical signal or an electrical signal before transmission. Next one is data rate. So data rate, what is data rate? Data rate is nothing but it is a number of bits that is transmitted in 1 second across the network, that is called transmission rate. This physical layer will also define the transmission rate. Then next one is synchronization. So if you want to send something, the sender and the receiver must be synchronized. So whatever the sender is sending, the receiver must able to receive that signal. Okay, so the synchronization of bits is also defined by this physical layer. Then next one is line configuration. The line configuration is nothing but either the devices has to be connected in point-to-point form, or either it has to be connected in multi-point form. So that is also described by this physical layer. So what is the next thing? Line coding. Line coding means how the devices has to be connected, either in point to point form or in multi-point form. So next one is physical topology. What is physical topology? Geometrical arrangement of the network. So either it has to be connected in ring topology or bus topology or mesh topology. Okay, or star topology. The type of topology is also defined by this physical layer. Finally, it will tell the types of transmission medium, which type of transmission medium it has to be used. So these are the function of physical layer. I will explain once more. I will point out once more. The first thing is it defines the physical characteristics of the interface and the medium. Second, representation of bits. Representation of bits means bit has to be converted to signal, either optical or electrical. Third one is data rate. What is the transmission rate? Next one is the synchronization. The clocks of the sender and receiver must be synchronized. Then next, line configuration, how the devices has to be connected, either in point to point mode or multi-point mode. Then physical topology, in which topology the network has to be connected. Then finally the transmission, it will defines the type of transmission medium also, either it is a copper cable or OFC cable or radio waves. Okay, these are the functions of physical layer. The physical layer is responsible for the movement of individual bits from one hop to the next. Okay, hop is nothing but a node. Next, second layer is the data link layer. Okay, already I have told you that in the data link layer, the additional information is added to the front of the data and to the back of the data. This from the information that is added to the front of the data, that is this H2 is the header and this T2 is the trailer. The information that is added to the back of the data is nothing called trailer. Okay, so in the data link layer, this trailer is added for error control. So for what purpose we are using this trailer? This trailer is used for error control. Okay, now in the receiving side, the data is coming from the network layer, and in the data link layer, header and trailer are added and it is passed to the physical layer. Okay, now in the receiving side, the data is passed from the physical layer and it is coming to the data link layer. In the data link layer, the header is removed and it is given to the network layer. So data link layer is responsible for moving frames from one hop to the next. Okay, here please listen, data in the data link layer is called frame. So what is the name of data in the data link layer? It is called frame. Okay, the frame is a name of data, the name for the data in the data link layer. If the data is coming in the data link layer, then its name is nothing but frame. What is the name? Its name is frame. Now we are going for the responsibilities of data link layer. The first responsibility of data link layer is framing. First, what is meant by framing? Framing is nothing but dividing the stream of bits received from the network layer into manageable data units called frame. We are dividing the bits of stream that is coming from the network layer, that we are dividing into some manageable units. The name of that unit is nothing called frame. What is frame? Framing divides a stream of bits received from the network layer into manageable data unit called frame. Next one is physical addressing. The type of addressing what we are using in the data link layer is physical addressing. So what is physical addressing? The addressing that we are using in the data link layer. So physical addressing means adding the sender and the receiver address. Okay, adding the sender and receiver address to the data is nothing called physical addressing. Then access control. so when more than one devices is connected to one link, then there must be one access control who have to access that particular line at a particular time. That is nothing called access control. What is access control? When more than one devices is connected to one link, then sometime more than one device will try to access the link at the same time. So there must be an access control. This particular device has to access this line on this time. Next device has to access this line on this time. So such control must be there. That is called access control. Then next one is error control. Error control means while we are transmitting the frames, there is a possibility of damage to the frame. So next one is there is a possibility of losing the frame. Okay, next there is a possibility of sending a same frame more than once. So three possibilities, there is a chance for three possibilities. So first one is the frame may be lost, or the frame may be partially damaged, and the third one, the frame may be duplicated. The three conditions we have to find. That is nothing but error control. Next one, flow control. Flow control means sender is sending data and the receiver is receiving the data. So the receiver will be having a capability, this much amount of data it can receive in a particular time. But if the sender is sending in a fast manner, then the receiver is unable to receive all the data at that time. Then what happens means this data will be accumulated in the network, and it will cause congestion in the network. So in order to avoid that, we have be using one thing called flow control. Flow control is nothing but it is allowing the sender to stop sending if the receiver is unable to process the data what the sender is sending. Then it is called flow control. Okay, these are the functions of the responsibility of the data link layer. Framing, then physical addressing, access control, error control, and flow control. These are the important responsibility of data link layer. Now this is the function of the data link layer. So please listen, you check this is an end system, and here you are having three end system. One is system A, system D, and system F. These three are end system, and you are having three intermediate system. The intermediate system is B, C, and E. B, C, and E are intermediate systems. Okay, these three are intermediate systems. Now the system A is sending some data to system F. So system A is sending some information to system S. The system A will first send to system B, and system B will send to system E, and the system E will forward the information to the end system F. Now the function of the data link layer is hop to hop delivery. Hop to hop means it is only responsible for the deliver of the data from system A to system B, then system B to system E, then system E to system F, not from system A to F. Only it is responsible from A to B. You check this diagram. It is only up to A to F. Next one B to E. Next one E to F. This is the function of data link layer. Hop to hop delivery. Next, network layer. So network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packets from source host to destination host. From source to destination. So here in data link, from this hop to next hop, okay, this node to next node. But here not like that. From source where the data is starting till the end, the network layer is responsible. Okay, network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packets from source host to destination host. So data is coming from the transport layer. The network layer is adding one header, then it is passing it to the data link layer. So similarly, from in the receiving side, the data is coming from the data link layer. The network layer removes this header and it will pass that information to the transport layer. Now the responsibilities of network layer. If two systems are attached to different networks that are connected with the router or switch, then the network layer ensures the data delivery between source and destination. Okay, so if two systems are attached to two different networks, one system is in one network and another system is in another network, and they are connected by using a router or switch. Now the network layer is responsible for the data delivery between source to destination. So it will take the responsibility from the starting place till to the ending place. That is a responsibility. Then logical addressing. Logical addressing is nothing but for universal communication we need a logical addressing. Actually logical addressing is nothing but a 32-bit address that is unique for each system. So what is logical address? Logical address is a 32-bit address and it is unique for each systems. Next responsibility of routing and responsibility of network is routing. Routing is nothing but finding a physical path for the traffic to go in a network is called routing. What is routing? Finding a path for the traffic to go in a network is called routing. Okay. When independent networks or links are connected to create internetworks or a large networks, the connecting devices called routers or switches will switch the packets to the final destination. So two important functions of the network layer is, one is logical addressing and the second one is routing. These two are the functions of network layer, and most important function is the network layer will take the responsibility from the transmission of data from source to destination. So the same example we are finding we have first studied for where data link, now in network. So here it is taking the full, initially the arrow is up to this one, A to B, then B to E, then E to F, but here it is taking the responsibility from A, continuous line, you are having a continuous line. Okay, so it is coming up to the end system F. So from system A to system F, it is taking the responsibility. But in the previous case, the data link layer will take from A to B only, then B to E, then E to F. But in the case of network layer, it is taking the responsibility from A to up to F. Next one is transport layer. So transport layer is responsible for the delivery of message from one process to another. Process is nothing but the application that is running in a program. So you are using your computer, so you are using YouTube, it is one process. You are using Gmail, it is another process. Okay, you are using some recorder, it is another process. Okay, so this transport layer is responsible for the delivery of message from one process to another. Now the data is coming from the session layer, and in the transport layer what you are doing is you are dividing the data into segments. Please listen, data when it is in the data link layer, its name is frame. Data when it is in the network layer, its name is packet. What is the name when it is in the network layer? Packet. Data when it is in the transport layer, it is becomes segments. When the data is coming from the session layer, we are dividing it into segments. Okay. Now this is one system and this is another system. So this system is running three processes and the same three processes is running in the another system also. So now the transport layer will take the responsibility of sending information from one particular process to the next particular process. Okay. So process to process delivery. So but in the case of network layer, host to host delivery, but here process to process delivery. Now the responsibility of the transport layer. So the first responsibility of the transport layer is port addressing or service point addressing. So if you want to send data from one process to next process, then definitely you need one port address. So that is nothing but the use of port address. Next one is segmentation and reassembly. Already I have told, when data is coming from the session layer, this transport layer will divide that data into segments. So while in the receiving section, this segment has to be reassembled. So segmentation and reassembly is a next important function of this transport layer. So next one is connection control. There are two types of connections I have already told. One is connection oriented service, another one is connectionless service. Connection oriented service means before sending data, a connection has to be established. But in the case of connectionless service, no such thing is needed. You can send the data immediately. Flow control. Flow control means the sender should not overrun the receiver. So here the flow control is end to end. Error control is process to process. So we have to control the error. Next is session layer. The session layer is responsible for dialogue control and synchronization. Okay. So what are the functions of session layer? The function of session layer is the dialogue control and synchronization. So please listen, the data is coming from the presentation layer, and that layer to that data we are adding a header and we are adding synchronization points to the data. What we are doing, we are adding this session layer will be adding synchronization points. This black box is nothing but the synchronization points. Okay. Now the responsibility of session layer. The first responsibility of session layer is dialogue control. What is dialogue control? It allows communication between two processes to take place in either half duplex or full duplex mode. Okay, it allows a communication between two processes to take place in half duplex or full duplex mode. Then synchronization. So the session layer will allow a process to add checkpoints or synchronization point. For example, if you are sending a data of 2000 pages, after completing each page, sending each page, you will be placing one. After sending every 100 page, you will be putting one synchronization point. And after we are the receiver receiving the first 100 page, it will send one acknowledgement. If in case of any lost page, if any page is lost, the particular number of pages must be retransmitted, and all other pages that need not be retransmitted. For example, you assume that some 235, page number 235 is lost. So you have to send only the pages from 200 to 300, because once receiving 100 pages, it will send one acknowledgement. Then after receiving the second 100, that is after 200, it will send another acknowledgement. But the error has occurred, or the lost frame is 235. So the frames from 200 to 300 has to be retransmitted. So next one, presentation layer. Presentation layer is responsible for translation, compression and encryption. Translation, it is responsible for translation, compression and encryption. So what is translation? Each system, it will be forming, each system it will be having its own format. Okay, but sender and receiver will be having different formats. Usually while transmission, you will be transmitting characters, numbers, images, audio, video. Okay, so the one system will be using one format, another system will be using another format. So while transmission, we have to convert it from sender's format into a common format. and in the receiver side that common format has to be transferred to the receiver side format. So this is nothing called translation. What is translation? Changing from the sender's format and receiver's format into a common format is nothing called translation. What is compression? Compression is nothing but while sending video and audio will be going for compression. Compression is nothing but reducing the number of bits in the data, that is compression. So encryption means when you are sending some sensitive data, that data has to be changed into some other format. So that is called encryption. And in the receiver side you will be doing decryption. Okay, while in the receiver side we will be doing decryption, and in the sender side we will be doing encryption. So these are the functions of your presentation layer. What are the functions of presentation layer? Translation, compression and encryption. Okay, next one is application layer. So these are the responsibility of presentation layer, that is translation, encryption and data compression. Then application layer. So application layer is responsible for providing services to the user. So it will allow the user to connect to the network. Okay, it will provide some services to the user. Now, so it provides user interfaces and support for services such as email, remote file access, file access and transfer, then shared database management and other types of distributed information services. So first, so this is the user programs, X.500, file transfer and management, X.400. So this is the data that is coming, data you are having one header and you are sending to the presentation layer. So in the receiving side, from presentation layer it is giving to the user side. Now the responsibilities of application layer is electronic mail, remote file access and transfer, shared database management and distributed information service. First important responsibility is network virtual terminal. So what is network virtual terminal? Network virtual terminal is a software version of the physical terminal. What is network virtual terminal? Network virtual terminal is a physical software version of a physical terminal, and it allows a user to log on to a remote host. A network virtual terminal will allows a user to log on to a remote host. Okay, so to do so, what it do means the application creates a software emulation. What it emulation? Okay, it will create a software emulation of a terminal at the remote host. Okay, then the user computer talks to the software terminal. The user computer will talk the software terminal. The software terminal in turn talks to the host and vice versa. The remote host believes that it is communicating to with its own and allows the user to log in. Okay. So this is a process. What we will be doing first? What we will be doing means first we will be a software emulsion is the application creates a software emulsion at the remote host. Then the user computer talks to that software terminal and the software terminal in turn talks to the host. The remote host, what it believes means it is communicating with one of its own terminal and allows the user to log in. So a user can log into a remote host. Next one is file transfer, access and management. So this application allows us to access file from remote files, okay, and retrieve files from the remote computer. Mail services, that is you can send mail. Then directory services. Directory services is this application provide distributed database source and access for global information about various objects and services. So these are the responsibilities of application layer. So we are going for a summary. First, physical layer. What is its function? Transmits bits over a medium. It will provide the mechanical and electrical specification. First one. Second, data link. It will organize bits into frames and it will provide hop to hop delivery. Okay, so what is the function of data link layer? It will organize bits into frames and provide hop to hop delivery. Network layer, it will move packets from source to destination and provides internetworking. Okay, so in network it is source to destination delivery. Okay, then transport layer, it provides process to process delivery. Okay, and error recovery. Session layer, session layer is called network dialog controller. It will allow the systems to establish, manage and terminate sessions. Okay, it will allows to establish, manage and terminate sessions. The presentation layer, it will do translation, encryption and compression. Application layer, it will allow users to access the network. Okay, so these are the functions of each layers. So we have completed the 7 layers, the functions of 7 layers. This question is very important. Please study it well.